Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new Elder Scrolls Online PTS Patch Notes video with me, Sherman. Today guys, we're going to go over the new changes that are coming with 6.2.3 on the PTS, Markarth, and Update 28. Also, some Midyear Mayhem testing, again. So, let's go ahead and get into it, I guess. So, in this update, it'll be the 6.2.3. Activates the Midyear Mayhem event for testing this week that include many fixes for Veteran Hollows and Markarth quests. Additionally, you'll find several fixes and adjustments to combat abilities and item sets, along with fixes to housing and various item UI elements and more. And the size of this patch is approximately 470 megabytes, which is surprising to me. It actually was. Usually when I patch my game, it'll say patching, and it'll say it's that much, and then once it gets this downloaded, it jumps to like installing, you know, 2 gigs or 3 gigs or 4 gigs worth of stuff, and I was like, I didn't do that this time. Cool. So, new features, updates, and big changes, template updates, fixes, and improvements. So, we're just going to jump into this. So, the new Midyear Mayhem, again, gotta test out the new event that's coming, or changes. So, again, this is for the Cyrodiil Imperial City event. So, President Mara, whatever, to receive a scroll of Pelennel's Ferocity. Yeah. The Pelennel's Midyear boonboxes are rewarded for completing daily quests in Cyrodiil or Imperial City, or as a bonus reward with rewards for the worthy mails you receive. These boxes contain a variety of goodies ranging from Telvar stones to Cyrodiil repair kits and soul gems, as well as a chance for Cyrodiil style pages, Daedric siege weapons, transmute geodes, or chew toys. I wonder what that is for. Who knows why you even threw chew toys in there? But hey, whatever. You can earn a total of 3 event tickets. The first 2 come from completing daily quests and focus on Cyrodiil or Battlegrounds. You may earn an additional ticket by completing an Imperial City District quest. So it looks like they're breaking that up. That's kind of cool. In addition to the rewards from the previous Midyear Mayhems, this year's new outfit style is the Ebon Steel Armor. Style pages for this armor have a chance to drop in the Imperial City, but are also available from the Impresario for 5 tickets. Template changes. So characters created using the Markarth maximum level template can now craft in the Greymoor and Sea Giant styles. Okay. Greymoor changes antiquities, fixed an issue or some things, fixed a lot of things the antiquities, it looks like. Housing, they removed a pair of trolls that were loitering around the entrance of Shalador's Shrouded Realm, and the map of Solitude that you can see in Snowmelt Suite, and Proudspire Manor now includes pins for the various locations in the city instead of being ominously empty. Cool. Alright, Markarth changes. So, fixed visual issues for the following motives and masks. Wayward Guardian motive. Ancestral, Night Hollow. Okay. Didn't notice anything with those, but okay. Fixed some issues with max shoulders. Opal Nightflyer mask shoulders would fit on the character. Fixed the visuals of tents dying with the, I'm not even going to try, Flamed Auspice Shroud. Alright. Dungeon and group content Veteran Hollows. So your character will no longer take fatal damage when rapidly using grappling points and then landing on the platform. Void effects within the choosing no longer disappear after the 3 wings are cleared. Rites Matron will now correctly refer to void stuff rather than void stuff. In all conversations, I mean, what even is void stuff anyway? Well, Those who've been through the arena know what it is, and those who played through that zone know what it is. Veterans Chosen and Hollow's Hustler now correctly state when the timer starts. Renamed Essence of Magica to be more appropriate. Essence of Mysticism. Gagrum, whatever. Will now no longer prompt you to meet the Rites Matron if you have already spoken to her. Brimstone Den. Hunter's Grotto. That's funny. I've only fallen once when going through that one, so void creatures will now correctly despawn when okay. So it just looks like they're doing some adjustments to things. Nothing really bad. Alright. That looks interesting. Alright. Some interesting changes. I know I'm reading this myself. I'm not telling you guys, but it's mostly just... I don't want to say fixes, but it's definitely some adjustments to make things run smoother in there. And then some exploration and itemization updates, so... I'm gonna do this one. So updated the hints for some sky shards found in the Reach to be consistent with hints elsewhere in the game. Fixed issues which could cause some item rewarded by the Markarth daily reward coffers to drop the wrong level. Non-perfected ability altering weapons from Sean Hollows and Black Rose Prison no longer drop for players below level 50 to be consistent with our other arenas. And they fixed several types related to the word Ethereum. Alright, housing, quest. Lots of quest fixes. I mean, that's a lot. I'm not going to go through them all because, of course, that's considered spoilers in my end. But we're going to go ahead and continue on. And there will be a link in the description below for the patch notes if you want to read through them yourself. But let's go ahead and get to this. So they fixed an issue where tether abilities and sets such as Shocking Siphon and Stonehusk were not properly treated as area of effect damage for bonuses such as Ancient Knowledge and Major Evasion. Fixed an issue where pets would behave erratically if Prevent Attacking Innocence was set to turn it was on. Their primal urges to kill all who dare to stand in their way of the masters has mostly been quelled. I'll believe it when I see it. Fixed an issue where some abilities, such as Shield Wall, could desync your stamina while blocking. Never noticed, but okay. Fixed an issue where projectile impacts could appear delayed on your client when waving with the heavy attacks. Again, never noticed. Minor Brittle. Fixed an issue where this debuff could be applied when not actively wielding Frost Staffs in some cases. Well, here's the thing. Brittle is attached to ice damage, and there is more than one ice ability in the game that's not on Frost Staff. Necromancer has ice abilities, or frost abilities. Warden has frost abilities, so... I can understand where that's coming from, but alright. Dragon Knight, Ardent Flame. Dragon Knight Standard fixed an issue. Nightblade, Siphoning Catalyst passive. So this passive can once again be used outside of combat. It says right here, after monitoring the feedback and recent adjustments to item sets and passives, we agreed that class passives are not a fair comparison to item sets, as passives are built in and cannot be removed, while item sets are designed with the thought that you will always wear them if you are attempting to utilize their bonus. Moving forward, we will ensure that item sets that generate ultimate only do so while in combat, as well as buff effects with durations such as major and minor heroism. Classes that can currently generate ultimate outside of combat will remain as such, since they help reinforce the playstyle and roles that they are trying to bring to life. Oh, okay. Now I know which one it is. This is going to be awesome for the Nightblade. Oh, this makes the Nightblade stand out a little bit. I know a lot of people don't understand where I'm coming from. So Catalyst was an ability that allowed you to generate ultimate, and you could do it by casting certain abilities. Now you can do I guess they removed it. I didn't even notice they did. But now it works again, so you can generate ultimate outside of combat, which makes Nightblades really good with ultimate generation for activating ultimate. I know it sounds weird, but it's going to come in handy for the Nightblade, because now the Nightblade has something that none of the other classes actually have access to. Besides, I think it's the Dragon Knight, where they can activate ultimate, like generate ultimate while not in combat. So that'll be good for the Nightblade, I think. Destruction Staff, Wall of Elements. Wall of Frost and its morphs will now cost 4,050 or 4,050 magicka at base rather than 3,780. Remove the 25% damage penalty that these abilities inherited for the new affixes they were given. So, yay, they fixed the damage problem with the Ice Staff, Wall of Elements. That's kind of cool. And I say fix the problem. It was a stupid idea in the first place to reduce the damage that Ice Staff does, because we want to make it more of a support tank weapon. Like, at least leave it with some damage capabilities. Like, come on. So good. Yes, yay. Wait, yay for us ice people. Alright. This also, what the... I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, that's not much, though. You'll notice the difference. That's going to be the problem. And their reasoning for this. So, with these adjustments, we hope that damage dealers will feel less penalized than before when using Wall of Frost and its morphs, especially when utilizing the new magic restore function of Destruction Expert, which will naturally occur when properly using Wall of Frost and its morphs. So, good change overall. Thank you. Don't like the cost increase, because that is quite a bit, which means Wall of Frost users are going to have to be a little bit more on top of that, like almost, and I don't want to say almost perfect rotation, but you will have to have a really good rotation with that. So, but I'm glad they removed the 25% damage penalty. That right there makes me happy. All right. Itemization and item set changes. So crafted sets. These are the crafted sets in the new expansion, or new DLC, sorry. Ethereal Ascension reduced the penalty of block, sprint, dodge, and break free costs by 20%, down from 25%. They explain in the developer notes here, this set is meant to allow you to easily reach armor cap and being able to obtain other stats in their place, but at the cost of your core combat skills being less reliable. The penalty is relatively high, as at the point there are many easy ways to reduce the cost of these core combat skills through things such as champion points, passives, armor traits, and we will continue to monitor the impact of the penalty on a build that keeps those in mind. Right. I'm not a fan of the Ethereal Ascension, to be honest. So, yeah. Alright, Red Eagle's Fury. This set now increases the cost of your weapon ability by 5% rather than increasing the cost of your non-weapon abilities. This change is made to keep up the theme of a martial focused build that grants a larger bonus to its specialization, but at a cost, similar to the New Moon Alkali. So this set now increases the cost of your weapon abilities by 5% rather than increasing the cost of your non-weapon abilities. This changes to keep up the theme of martial focus build that grants a larger bonus to its specialization, but at a cost. Okay. I don't know if I like this. I'm being honest, because I like the way it was when it didn't have the increase to weapon abilities and it was non-weapon abilities, because it made you focus more into weapon abilities and less into other abilities. So I don't know, like, now it doesn't really focus on the martial thing, honestly. Alright, whatever. Benny's Torment. So these are dungeon and arena sets. This is in the new thing. So fixed an issue where the major vitality from the set was not lost when the beam broke. Sergeant's Mail. This item sets bonus damage for heavy attacks. Will once again no longer apply the dual wields offhand strike. What? I never knew it did that. We adjusted this work. It has proven to burst enabling in PvP, especially when paired with other heavy attack sets. Share Venom. They reduced the damage this set deals to 6,576 over 6 seconds, down from 8,766 over 6. Alright. Fixed an issue where this set had a higher chance of applying poison status effect than intended. Alright, that's cool. So various skills. So this is the, if I remember right, this is the one that's opposite to, because there was 2 sets that came out with the Thieves Guild, and one is magic based, one's poison based. So they fixed an issue where the set ignored its own cooldown in some cases, and they fixed an issue where the set would stop working if you entered a new zone. Alright, so this one dealt poison damage. And I want to say that's the set, but there's 500 sets in the game now, and it's so hard to follow all of them now. Mythic items. So pearls of whatever this set can no longer generate ultimate outside of combat. Cool. Really? So this is Ring of the Pale Order. This set now heals for 18% of the damage done, up from 15, and decrease the heal cap to 2750 down from 3750. And I love what they say here. With these adjustments, the set should perform slightly better for sustained pressure builds and PvP in general, while seeing reductions in power from heavy hitting burst attacks in PvE. Are you... So we're going to make it more powerful for PvP, but we're going to try and adjust it for PvE. You just made it stronger in PvE and less stronger in PvP. See, and this is where I say that. In PvP, you have a reduced healing effect. It comes with the content. So now the set heals for 18% of your damage done, up from 15, and they decrease the healing cap to 2750, down from 3750. Well, if you're reducing the amount of heal that you get, that lowers its effectiveness in PvP. But because you lowered the heal and increased the percentage, you increase the effect of it in PvE. Oh man, I don't know. I don't get it. Alright, moving on. Ability altering weapons. Executioner's Blade. So this item set now increases the damage done with Hidden Blade up to 250% on targets under 100% health, rather than 200% against targets under 25% health. Wow. This set now also restores up to 50% of the cost of Hidden Blade. When used on targets under 50% health, this portion of the attack will also proc when using the free cost version of Flying Bait. What? That's insane. I'm going to have to do some tinkering with that. Frenzying Momentum. This set now no longer generates stacks while outside of combat to help reduce the burst damage you can start with in a fight. Note the stacks from previous encounters will carry over, however, so you do not lose those previous effort. Alright. Point and Blank Snipe. This set now scales its damage between 5% and 33% based on your distance, rather than granting 33% while 7 meters or close to the target. The 33% is reached when 3 meters or closer to the target, and rapidly scales down by 5% when at 18.5 meters or more from your target. Alright, it's just so we can expect to see more forgiving gameplay when trying to engage with the long shots passive, which operates in yeah. Alright. Wrath of Elements. Increase the damage done by this set to 27,000 or 23,710 over 10 seconds, up from 21,400 over 10 each time the tether damage an enemy, and increases the damage by 1% up to 20 times. With these values, we hope to see more payoff for using this set in cleave and area of effect encounters, while also rewarding staying in range of your opponent. Huh. That's an interesting change to this. Definitely gonna have to look at it. Definitely. Alright. Base game changes. Crypt of Hearts, fixed an issue. Midyear Mayhem, Bag of Veterans Glory containers are now unique to ensure each bag contains valid rewards. New Life Festival, Old Life Remembrance, fixed to ensure that whatever marked on the map too early in his dialogue. House Guest, updated Historian something's map so that it no longer appears to have small metal pins holding up the corners of the map. Was a little tacky. Okay, funny joke. Gamepad mode. And I look at gamepad mode a lot because of the fact that I know people who use this on PC, so. And that's it. That's pretty much all of it. So item set collections also added a right-click context menu to the item set books keyboard set headers to allow for expand all and collapse all headers that are collapsed will be remembered when switching categories. In the item set screen, unlocked pieces of the set will now be sorted ahead of locked pieces. Okay. So, not a lot of changes. And again, something I want to point out here, during the PTS first patch, they said that they were changing how crit worked, and still no mention of when they're going to apply that to the rest of the sets in the game, or if they are. I would really like to get some word on that from the devs. That's something that a lot of us have been really curious about, because some of us are really excited for the crit change. Because if you're going to change critical to where it applies to both weapon and spell, then you need to change the sets that don't have that. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, but we already have a lot of sets like Juliana's and Hunting's Rage that have similar stat values. But the thing that you got to remember is it's only the critical value that's changing. So they will still have the max magicka, weapon damage, spell damage, all the they will still have those different stats, which still keeps them separated. And yes, they would have crit across the board, but it allows for a little bit more hybrid play, which I think is fantastic, especially when you look at the broader picture. So And I say the broader picture, and that is this like idea that the devs, and this is something that I saw in a video that I do highly agree with, but it was something Zyno said when he was talking with Nephis in a video recently, and how he feels like the devs are, what was the word he used? But basically consolidating, that's it, consolidating the stats and everything for sets. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, that they would consolidate to broaden the use of them, so it wouldn't just, you know, all medium armor sets are for stamina DPS, all light armor sets are for magicka DPS, all heavy armor sets are for tanks, and all, you know, crafted sets are, you know, whatever. Like, if you're gonna make it to where players can utilize sets and to their advantage, and then you know, like across the board, that's where you would start. And this really does allow for that play how you want kind of structure, and I really hope that they do that. But again, like I said, we haven't seen any word on when it's really coming into the game. They mentioned it in the first patch notes that the crit changes, that critical is getting changed across the board, but we haven't seen it in the PTS, like nowhere. There's one set, I think, and that was one of the sets that comes in the new expansion that has it, but none of the other sets do. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But who knows? Who knows what's going on? I mean, they are working from home, so it might be a little bit harder to do when you have to physically touch almost every set in the game, because I forget how many there was before this. Like during the right before Greymore came out, I remember I had counted how many. I think it was Greymore or it was Stonethorn, one of the two. How many sets there were that had critical weapon crit or spell crit on them, and it was over half the sets. The only one that doesn't have a lot. The only item value, or not item value, but armor type that didn't carry a lot of crit was heavy armor. But most light armor, most medium armor, most crafted sets do have a crit on them. So it's like, wow, you know, like I would personally, I would love to see that change, because I do feel like opening the door to more build possibilities and more player options it just expands how much more things you can do in the game with your character build, or your build itself, whatever you want to call it, but your build itself, to make it that much more interactive with the game's like system. And the whole idea that this game is built on play how you want, but there's all these things that there was a lot of more restrictions in the past, and with each chapter they've alleviated some of that, but not by a massive amount. And they've added a ton of sets to the game that allow for a lot of really good hybrid customization. But until they put in that crit change, I don't think we're going to see that much of an improvement. Now, if they ever incorporate spell and weapon damage into one, there's a lot of sets that would literally just vanish from the game, because there would be no point in having them, like Hunting's Rage, Julianus, because they're identical in what they offer set bonus wise. But think about other sets like Night Mother's Gaze. That set would be fantastic for any DPS, magicka or stamina, because it applies the major breach. And if it does spell and weapon crit and spell and weapon damage, then it would be like across the board. That would be a fantastic set, and they wouldn't have to like create another set to add to the game to mimic it. Like, they wouldn't have to add a magicka version. We wouldn't need it. And we don't need one anyways because it's attached to the elemental destruction staff, their breach and fracture, or their breach. So also, before I let you guys go, I do have a video coming out why I didn't release videos last week, and I guess I could incorporate in here, but I feel like this is the end and I don't want to do that. So what I'll do is I'll make a separate video explaining why I didn't release the videos last week, and what changed my mind on it, because there was some things that I was running across, some problems and stuff when I was working through some of the videos that I started to realize, and a lot of it came from testing the play styles, like testing because I've done this in the past for years now. I've tested like different play styles, from tanking the roles, and tanking with different weapons, and then healing with different build types, all kinds of stuff. And what I found, and it's interesting what I found. So let me get to that in that video. But other than that, hope you guys liked this video. If you did, you guys know what's coming next. Go ahead and hit that like button. If you guys want to see more videos by me, remember to subscribe. And then also, when you do, try to click that notification bell, because it will notify you when I post new videos. It also helps my channel grow, and it would be awesome if you did that. Other than that, I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a wonderful day, and this guy might see you in game. Bye.